Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm gonna take you guys behind the scenes filming a heavy metal music video of the ever so talented artist group Kelevra. I'm gonna be mixing in some talking head pieces throughout, as the second shoot location didn't have a BTS filmer on set. The first location that we're about to jump into was filmed in Edmonton, as at the time I was about 3 hours away in Calgary filming a hip hop music video, so it lined up perfect for me to just jet out there, get some shots, and then wrap up the rest of the music video in Regina, where I live. Alright, so I want to mention a couple things here in regards to us wrapping our first location in Edmonton. Everybody was so easy to work with, so laid back, gave me full creative control. They were just the nicest group of people ever. Amazing humans, and being that we were on a time crunch, they moved quick, didn't waste a second of time, which ultimately led to a better music video outcome because we had sufficient time for me to overshoot a little bit and capture enough shots to the point where I was happy wrapping the set when we did. Secondly, Rohan and his brother Lunico, the behind the scenes shooters from Edmonton. This channel has zero ego attached to it, and to be honest, I feel that 70,000 subscribers isn't really a massive accomplishment nowadays. So when Rohan mentioned to me that he's been following my work for years, has looked up to me for the free value I provided on the channel, anytime a creative says this to me, which has happened more times than I can count over the years, I'm still flattered by the positivity and motivation behind why they enjoy my content and had a blast meeting up with me in person. At the end of the day, whether you have 100,000 subscribers on this platform or you have zero following and just picked up a camera for the first time, I've always enjoyed meeting and connecting with new faces in person who consume my content and simply treating them like a friend. So I've always tried my best to keep grounded no matter what, giving any up and coming creative the time of day, because you never know where that newfound friendship can lead you in the future. So we're gonna have to toss garbage bags literally all over these windows. We're trying to block out this entire space. So
the garbage bags for a garbage band.
Basically gonna be pretty heavy on the performance scenes, but we're also gonna grab a bunch of slow-mo B-roll. So shooting on the Canon R5C. We're gonna break down like camera settings and everything as we start to kind of like get set up to shoot. Probably gonna be playing around with some RGB lights out here and basically just a key and fill. Pretty straightforward, just shooting back-to-back performance scenes. Song's like 6 minutes, so we'll see how many performance scenes we can bang out, but I'm hoping to get at least like 13 performance scenes would be nice, and then a solid like 4 B-roll shots where we just play the song from very beginning to very end and just catch each band member just vibe into the song for the slow motion stuff, and then again a bunch of B-roll. So we're gonna finish getting set up, block out the background here, and then start shooting ASAP.
I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays all I do is shine, take a breath and ease my mind, and she don't cry no more. She tell me that I get her high, cause an angel's supposed to fly, and I ain't asking why no more. Oh no, I take it if it's mine, I don't stay inside the lines, it ain't 2009 no more. Yeah, I know what's behind that door, yeah, okay, you got it.
Alright guys, so first performance scene we're gonna run through is, I like to call them like warm-up scenes. Doesn't matter how experienced the artist is. These artists haven't shot a ton of music videos, I don't think, so, but they have like toured, they've done so many live shows, they're super comfortable on stage and cameras in their faces. So I still run a warm-up scene though. So this is always a performance scene. This just gets the artist kind of like in the groove for the rest of the shoot. So we're gonna run back one performance scene, and I'm basically just like gonna be running like in and out from like the furthest point to like the closest point, and then I'm also maybe just gonna walk like back and forth just horizontally here in front of like all the artists and kind of focus on each artist for like 5 seconds each, and then I'm gonna push back out all the way, push back in, and then just do the exact same kind of movement pattern. Alright, so the second performance scene we're going to run is basically the two artists that are standing here with the guitars. I'm going to basically just be shooting in 24 FPS, 180 degree shutter angle, and all of this is shot handheld so far. And all I'm going to be doing is just whipping my camera back and forth from each of the artists playing, and I'm just like doing this to have a little bit more variety. So the next shot that I'm going to capture after that is going to be the guitar player over here, and I'm just going to be focusing solely on him. And once I've kind of shot all the performance scenes and B-roll shots, we're going to get into some slow motion stuff a little later on. That's when I'm going to start to focus on the drummer. And the nice thing about the drummer is that I'm going to be very like laser focused on him, so the other band members don't really have to be playing at the same time. And this is the other thing too with like this genre of music, like when you're filming bands or like heavy metal artists and stuff like them, you want to grab as many performance scenes as possible. Like we're literally shooting like probably upwards of 15 performance scenes, and I'd say about 5 of those are going to be shot in 60 FPS, and then I also want to grab like 3 60 FPS or 120 FPS B-roll shots. So for example, like the drummer scenes, like I'm gonna be standing here and I'm just gonna get like one camera angle, handheld, and I'm just gonna be shifting my weight back and forth. Maybe I'll shoot this in like 60 FPS. I'll grab another one where I'm in between like the cymbals here, so I can grab like his facial expressions as he's drumming. And then maybe I'll grab another one over here, opposite angle, and just like more so pointing down and shooting this one in like slow motion as well. Like you just have to get like very creative with your angles when you're filming like this niche music video. And when you are shooting B-roll shots, like especially when you go from performance scenes to B-roll for this genre, like you get a lot of really crazy handheld motion. So like you have to kind of, you know, think in the back of your head to just like chill out a little bit, maybe turn your in-body image stabilization. I'm gonna turn on the digital stabilization for the B-roll shots, and I'm literally just gonna be like going back and forth like this, shifting the weight from one leg to another, and just not doing any crazy movements for the B-roll shots because we have full intentions to slow motion everything down in post. All right guys, so we're running just solo performance scenes now. So each artist is gonna hop on stage and I'm gonna hit them with some RGB lights. So the first performance scene, I'm gonna hit them with blue RGB on one side and a very light orange RGB on the opposite side. And I'm gonna shoot those performance scenes in 60 FPS, so I have the option to run them as B-roll. And I'm being really laid back with the handheld motions. Like I'm not doing any crazy twists and turns. Just wanna be able to use those shots as slow-mo. And then we're gonna cut the orange light and just have the blue for the second performance scene of each artist. And that's when I'm gonna go down to 24 FPS. And I'm gonna just be shooting at 180-degree shutter angle, and that's when I'm gonna be getting the crazy handheld shots for the entirety of the song. So we're gonna run just back-to-back performance scenes, and it's nice too because each artist gets a little bit of a break. Alright guys, so we've got a behind the scenes shooter out today here in Edmonton. So this is Rohan. Rohan is a filmmaker, and I'll leave his socials up here. Give him a follow on Instagram, man. Super talented videographer. He shoots a lot of music videos. Give him a subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. I'm going to leave their channel in the description down below.
I just want to say, like, I have been following Anastas for quite a few years. When I first started as a director, the first video that I followed, where I learned from, was his. I think it was how to make hip-hop rap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this guy from Saskatchewan, you know, and that gave me a lot of confidence. It's like, okay, I can do it too, you know.
So sick.
So it's been a pleasure working with him. Thanks for the opportunity, man.
Of course.
You know, like I've loved being on set today. Learned a lot from the guy, man. Check out his work. Super busy guy. If you are looking to make a music video anywhere in Saskatchewan or anywhere in Alberta, hit him up.
Yo, hit us up, bro. You get direct, man. I'll shoot.
There you go. There you go. We're definitely gonna do it.
Hell yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Thanks, man.
I'm going for it. You did an awesome job.
You guys killed it.
Thank you guys as well.
My pleasure.
That's a germ protector. Thanks for putting up with our music.
You guys are so good.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
So
Over and over again.
I can't get over how pro. You guys are such a pro team. Thank you for everything you guys
for sure.
did.
No.
You made it run so smooth.
We killed it. We killed it today.
Pretty last minute too, wasn't all of this.
Yeah, no,
You
we're going.
guys been in touch?
I don't know, I reached out a while ago and then
Yeah.
it kind of like fell off. We didn't know what we were doing, and
Yeah.
coming here was like a little bit of a weird situation, right?
But it worked out perfect. So I was in category anyways.
Oh, boys, I can't thank you
Like if
guys.
it was in Regina, we would just line up the exchange, but here it took a little more like
Yeah, that's alright. We'll finish up in Regina too.
Makes
so.
me miss
had to
you
get a
guys.
thing of garbage bags. So
Yeah.
table
Hey, man, we made it work.
Shit, yeah.
Love it.
Boys.
Alright, packed up.
Thank you.
Alright, so after crushing the first location, we're gonna hop into our second location now, and I'm more or less this time gonna break down the lighting techniques I use to add a little more depth to the overall video. So I kicked off our second location with performance scenes of each artist individually. I always feel that doing performance scenes first, right off the bat, really warms the artists up to being on set. Now, this is the first time I've met the lead singer Matt on this band, so we started with his shots not only so he could warm up a bit, but also so I could gauge the energy of him on camera and see if we had to make any tweaks. Like I said before, Kelevra holding their brand at a high standard and being great to work with, Matt was crushing every single performance scene from the second I started rolling the camera. Lighting breakdown here was an iFootage 320DN with a large iFootage softbox as a high key, meaning that the light is pointing directly at the artist to bring those shadows and midtones up, and then complementing the background with 3 Amaran PT4C 4-foot tube lights, which I decided to set all 3 of them to 2700 Kelvin. Personally, I've always liked the look of darker scenes that have a warm, contrasty punch to them. Next performance scene, we had Brett on camera. We rolled in some props in the background so I could rest a tube light set to 10,000 Kelvin, meaning it looked cool, and then attached the remaining 2 tube lights and set them to 2700 Kelvin to C-stands and had them sitting kind of at an angle. Being that I had black C-stands and the room was already dark, it almost made the tube lights look like they were floating, which is exactly what I wanted to go for in these shots, as I knew once I did take this video back to the editing suite, I could crush the shadows and you wouldn't see the C-stands. Next performance scene was of Matt, and we had the exact same setup as Brett, but this time I just positioned the tube lights in the background to face upwards rather than downwards. Last but not least, for the individual performance scenes, we had Dylan, the drummer, posted up, and same as before, I hit him with a high key to light up the front of his body facing the camera, along with the drum set. To keep some color continuity in these scenes, I actually laid all 3 tube lights on the ground set to, again, 2700 Kelvin around the drum set. This idea just kind of came to mind when I was playing around with the lighting on set, and was really happy with how this came out, as it was different than the guitar players and the singer. Last but not least, we wrapped the set shooting about 3 or 4 performance scenes of all 4 of the artists on stage, and I was honestly just getting some freestyle handheld shots at various different angles, and while I was shooting, I was really trying my best to pay attention to each artist and how they were portraying their movements throughout each performance scene. So when I saw Matt swinging his hair around, I would dart the camera over to him. When I saw the lead singer Matt headbanging and showing a lot of emotion in the lyrics, again, I would quickly whip pan over to him. Common question I'll get in the comments is, did I autofocus or manual focus for this shoot? You probably noticed in the behind the scenes footage, but I always had my hand on the focus ring, so I was using manual focus 100% of the time. Think of it this way. If you shot a video like this that was all handheld and every scene had so much movement from the artist, there's no way your eye tracking autofocus would be reliable. Not to mention, autofocus typically isn't the most reliable in darker situations. So if I was filming in autofocus and let's say I was whip panning from the guitar up to the artist's face, back down to the guitar, whip pan to another artist performing at the same time, Your camera, no matter what you're using, I don't care if you have the latest and greatest Sony or Canon, it will never be a reliable autofocus pull. You gotta resort to manual focus in these situations, guys. Technicals aside, we wrapped this set, I knocked out the edit, and we absolutely crushed this project. Again, big shout out to Kelevra for believing in my visuals and editing. I think this was such an awesome team effort, and I couldn't be more happy with how the video turned out. If you guys wanna check out the full video, I'll leave it in the link down below. And if you do check out the full video, do me a favor and leave a comment letting Kelevra know that you came from the behind the scenes. Appreciate everybody who made it this far. Honestly, it feels great to be pumping out a fresh music video tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.